Alright everyone, here we are with ticker symbol Nndm, Nano Dimensions. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel. Invest for tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back. And I want to go ahead and announce that I have a ticker symbol towards the end of this video that you won't want to miss. You definitely want to add it to your watch list and keep it on your radar. Now, this ticker symbol, I've talked about it already twice. So we're going to look at its chart one more time. We're going to look over it, the potential moving forward, and it's already 2x in just 2 weeks and almost 10x in just like 3 months. So I really want every single investor and viewer to be aware of this one and do some further digging and research. But let's look at the chart and some of the things I have to state. And I have some questions for you guys, the first time viewers and the subscribers and viewers that have seen it before, on how you guys feel about this stock. So stay tuned to the end so that you guys can see what I have to say. We can look at the chart together and what ticker symbol it is. So let's jump into Nano Dimensions. So it's jumped through the resistance level and slightly just sitting on it right there. So this is a really close one right now. It's at 1665, literally after market hours. Now it's showing at 4 p.m. it closed out at 1672, but it's literally sitting on the resistance. So the bulls definitely need to appear tomorrow early on in the morning. So let's go ahead and see our new resistance and support. But before we jump into all of that, I want to show us how ARK Invest has reacted from yesterday to today. So this is ARK W yesterday on the 8th, today's the 9th, and they had 4,660,790 shares. Now today on ARK W for the 9th, today's the 9th, yesterday was the 8th, they have 4,706,051 shares. So if we look, you could see that they went up by a few shares. Not that much, just about 46,000, almost 50,000 here in ARK W. So they've been loading up their position here within ARK W. Now, for ARK Q, this is yesterday's position, 7,022,033 shares, and that was on the 8th, ARK Q. Now, if we see ARK Q for today, ARK Q, it's the 9th, and it shows 6,814,743. So, I've seen some investors comment down below, which is kind of what I stated, but you guys did a great job explaining it. And I've been noticing that ARK Invest buys as it dips, right? And when it rises up, they sell. Okay? And it dipped yesterday and they bought some shares, right? And they sold again as it went up. So now they're kind of like day trading, swing trading this as it keeps moving around. But in ARK W, they keep on loading up shares. Very small positions, but they keep on doing that. I'm not sure if it's because the amount of shares that they have in cumulative in total, they almost have anywhere between right now 10 million to 11 million. So they're shaving off on ARK Q and they want to kind of bring it down below 5 million at some point. And they're trying to bring ARK W closer to 5 million in total. I'm not quite sure. Now, Nano Dimensions has a big day next week, right? On the 15th, I believe it is. If anybody wants to correct me, there's a vote coming up, or the vote already has happened, that they want to add more shares and so forth. So I'm not sure how that's going to make the stock react in the near future. So we need to watch it carefully. So right now, ARK Invest is buying on one end, selling on the other end. So the fact that they're buying in ARK W, it kind of shows that bold statement that we've always talked about. But now they're kind of getting shaky with their positions in ARK Q, up and down, up and down. So let's look at the chart. The 50-day moving average is 1587. As long as we stay above it, we're in bullish territory. The moment we're below it, we're in bearish territory. Our support is 1645. If that gets broken through, we need to watch carefully how it reacts between support and the 50-day moving average, and if the bulls are trying to reappear and bring it back up. We're currently sitting at 1665, and our resistance is 1709. That's the highest point reached in the day, and it's working its way back up slightly above certain resistance levels that needed to be broken through from when it was going on the way down. But the highest point reached was $18. So we're still almost $1 away. But 1709 definitely needs to be broken through by the bulls. And I want to emphasize that the bulls need to break through 1709 to go ahead, turn it into a support, pull further away from the 50-day moving average, and reach newer highs and new resistance levels. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watch this video. Stay tuned to the end, because the ticker symbol I'm about to talk about you won't want to miss, and you definitely want to have it on your watch list. So for everyone that has stayed to this point in the video, the ticker symbol I'm about to share with you guys is a reiteration of the previous stock graphs and also where the stock was and where it's at now. So I think this is the second time I talk about this one in less than a month, and I really want every single investor and viewer to be aware of this one, especially the new coming investors and subscribers. I don't want you guys to miss this one. And for every single subscriber that missed it in the previous videos, if you're having the chance to watch it now, I really want you guys to be aware of this company and do your due diligence and do your research and further digging to understand this ticker symbol and the potential moving forward. So the ticker symbol is CLNE, right? So let's go ahead and pick it up here. Let's see if it pops up. Clean Energy Fuels Corporation. Now, in less than a month, it has actually risen, right? From about $10 all the way up to highs here of almost $19. That's almost 100% gain. But let's just go ahead and say it from $10, right? Forget about the $10.45. We talked about it before that. We talked about it right here at $10.998. So $10 to $18.70, that's 87% gain. Okay? And there's so much more room still for this stock. This stock has been growing exponentially over time. I know that when you look at it, you're like, oh, well, there's going to be a point where this is going to drop. Well, we went through one of the massive drops right here after it took off where I was talking about it. This was the first time I went ahead and mentioned it, January 22nd. And I said, okay, we might see it cool off and go a little bit lower. We want to look for some consolidation, and then it can start to hit newer highs. Well, it took off after that, soon after, and it hit 12, came back down to 10, and a lot of investors already saw 12, and they said, okay, 12 is possible. So now we need to get to 12, and we need to break through 12. Well, that certainly happened. It brought itself right back up, slightly above it, brought itself back down to 12, and now it took off to 18. So the question is, could this go ahead and consolidate up here? Could we see this pull back somewhere in the middle of this? That's totally possible and healthy for the way the chart has been acting to this point. I want every single investor to be aware of all these consolidation periods and runs up. These are very healthy signs of a growing stock, okay? So it's clearly showing that. Now you have to do your due diligence and research, because now we're talking about it again at its highest point. We've talked about it at one of its highest points here when it was at 10, and it had recently hit 12, 11 and some change. So it was still showing signs that there could be some room, and analysis ratings were also looking pretty good. So now we've hit new highs. So analysis ratings need to be reiterated and upgraded. And then we also need to see for consolidation or a pullback, but obviously not coming back down to 12, somewhere in the middle. And if it does come back to 12, may it consolidate in 12, and then from there on out, hit newer highs and new resistance levels for this stock to continue this exponential growth. But the potential here going into the year and the coming years is phenomenal, and there's so much room here for this to continue. But from January 22nd till now, 87% growth is pretty phenomenal and interesting to me. So I wanted to go ahead and ask those of you that have found out about this since the first time I talked about it to this point, how have you felt about the graph? Did you add this to your watch list? Have you kept it on your radar? Did you add it to your watch list but disregarded it? All right, I want to ask these questions to you guys. All the viewers coming across this for the first time, I would encourage you to go ahead and do your due diligence and research. And just by looking at the graph, how does it make you feel? Do you see that this can continue to run? Do you see a pullback and consolidation? But the way it's been acting, do you think that this can repeat itself, right? But onto newer highs, like beyond this. So like if we were able to copy and paste this, but starting off at 18, can you see this type of distance and growth getting attached here beyond the next coming months and also year? So I wanted to ask that question to you guys, because that's what you really need to think about when you look at a graph, right? What is it acting like before, and could it repeat that same process moving forward to newer highs and new resistance levels? Obviously, the volatility of the stock market is always going to exist. There's been up and downs throughout this whole process, but if it can continue doing that behavior, there's room here for this to continue to probably 2x from where it is now, because we've almost 2x from where we talked about it in just weeks, and it's actually gone ahead in 9x, right? Almost 10x from way down here, these lows in November. So very interesting stuff. I wanted to ask that to all you guys that are watching, every single investor and viewer. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.